and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, for some more Barça news. And in today's video, it is very much discussion time, because we're going to be talking about plenty of topics that I want your thoughts on, and I want to have some debates here on the channel. We're going to be talking about the likes of Robert Lewandowski and Raphinha as well, following criticism of both of these players of late and questions there about their futures. And we're also going to be talking about the biggest debate of all, and that involves Neymar, of course. And we are going to be talking today, again, in a lot of detail about Mbappe's decision to stay at PSG, if that could impact Neymar's future, and also whether we should be listening a lot more closely to Luis Enrique. It is all coming up for you guys. I hope that you're going to enjoy it, and I really appreciate you joining me here today. So come on, and let's do this. But I do, guys, actually want to kick off today's video with some big news ahead of the start of the new La Liga season, and big news potentially here in the title race, because today Real Madrid have been hit with a massive injury blow. Thibaut Courtois has ruptured his ACL. This is a massive blow for Real Madrid, because it's said at this stage that Courtois is expected to miss most, if not all, of the coming new season. His expected return date there is around about April right now, and this is somebody who, don't forget, has been such a key player for Real Madrid since arriving there in goal. He's been a dominant figure for them, almost saving them in matches at times single-handedly, and he will be an almighty loss. And news has also emerged today that their new signing Arda Güler is also facing surgery on that knee injury that he's been suffering with over the course of pre-season, and it has been a terrible day at Real Madrid. And look, guys, I know there's a huge rivalry between the two clubs here. We know that Barça and Real Madrid, they are fierce competitors, but these are the kinds of injuries that you don't want to wish on any player. It's really unfortunate to see what's happened to Courtois here today. Güler, a young player, they're suffering already with knee problems, and ultimately, we want to see the two teams, Barça and Real, at full strength, battling there for the title in a long title race this season. So I'm sure that we will here today wish both of those players a safe recovery. And there has also been some big news today on the transfer front, again outside of Barca, but it may well include us, because Tottenham have accepted there an offer for Harry Kane from Bayern Munich, believed to be in the region of 120 million euros. Big money there coming in to Tottenham this summer. And all that I want to say right now, and all that I want to stress to Tottenham is, please spend some of that money on Clement Longley. You know you want to. He's right there for you. We've kept him. It hasn't been easy for us, but we have been waiting here for you to come back for him, and the time is now, guys, because Tottenham, if you don't have Harry Kane anymore, you want to get yourself a Longley. You want to make sure that you have Longley there. You will feel more comfortable. You will feel more safe with him in your team. So please here, take some of that Kane money when you get it and spend it on Longley. You will not regret this purchase. Thank you there to Tottenham, if you can make that happen. But if we do move on to talk now about Robert Lewandowski, because this is somebody here who throughout the course of pre-season so far has come under some scrutiny there from Barcelona fans who aren't really satisfied really with what they've been seeing from Robert Lewandowski. But I have said all along, we've got to wait until the season. You know, Lewandowski here may not have been on his A game in pre-season, but he might be about to hit the ground running in La Liga and the Champions League, of course, when it all gets underway. And I certainly hope that is the case. But I want to talk to you about his long-term future at Barca, because even throughout this summer, there have been plenty of links there from Saudi Arabia. Apparently, they'd be willing to pay big money to sign Lewandowski. But as of right now, he is very keen, of course, to stay at Barca. This is the move that he wanted to make for his family as well. His wife there really enjoys living in Barcelona, and for that reason, he has no intention of leaving this summer. But there are just a few rumours now emerging that even looking to next summer, Barca are keeping their options open right now. Lewandowski will be 35 years old this summer. He'll be 36 years old next summer. And apparently there are several people within the club, possibly even Mattia Almani right now, who believe that it might be worth selling Lewandowski next summer. Again, looking at that interest from Saudi Arabia, if offers come the way of Barca, they may be open to letting Lewandowski go. And of course, bearing in mind by then, Vitor Roque will have arrived at the club. You look at also the performances of maybe Ferran and Ansu Fati in that number 9 role. Ferran has had a very, very good pre-season. If we can keep hold of Ansu here, he is another player who can play down the middle. So just looking forward here, guys, to the sort of near to long term, what do you see in Lewandowski's future? Do you see him remaining at Barça for many, many years to come? We know that he's getting on, but we know that when he's firing, when he arrived at the club, he looked absolutely incredible. And I'm not just talking about goal scoring here, because when Lewandowski first arrived, his touch was immaculate. He was really helping out there in the build-up. He was providing some brilliant assists. I remember his combination play with Pedri was absolutely extraordinary. And I think really, guys, that's the Lewandowski that we want back again. We want that sharpness about his play. It's not all about the goals. If he's not scoring as many as often, that's okay. But let's see that overall game take shape again. Let's see that sharpness out there in the final third when it really, really matters. But like I say, once the season starts, once that competitive spirit gets burning inside of him, I hope that will bring out the very best version of Lewandowski, because we will need him this season. And from one player who is being questioned right now at Barça to another, because now I want to talk to you guys about Raphinha, because I did ask you all yesterday on social media, what did you make of Raphinha's pre-season? Throughout the past few games, what do you make of his performances, his overall level, what you're seeing from him, and ahead of the new season? And I think in general, guys, Raphinha for me, like I say, is a player that divides opinion most right now, because there are a lot of people who would say Raphinha had a very solid first season. He had a good first season, and now we'd expect him in that second season to kick on and to actually show more about his game and to be more comfortable. People admire Raphinha's work rate, his desire, his passion on the field, but there are also a lot of Barca fans who say he has to do more. He has to be giving more in this team and actually showing more weapons, really, in his armoury. Because I think Raphinha, when you look at him, I think his output is actually quite decent. When you look at his goals, when you look at his assists last season, I think for a first season, it was not bad at all. And actually, he scored some big goals in big moments. So that is something that is a very, very big positive. But, again, almost like with Lewandowski, I think it's the overall game. I think there's a lot of frustration within Barca fans right now when they see Raphinha on the ball and they just feel as though you should be giving a bit more. You should be doing more in the wider areas in terms of beating your man, going inside, going outside, showing more variety maybe in your game. We know that he has the pinpoint crossing, that he can pick out a man. But I think there are times where he needs to do more than that. And there have been some claims, given that Raphinha is one of our most sellable assets at the club. We've seen already this summer that he could generate big, big money for the club. Some people say we should be cashing in on him. Of all the players maybe in that front line that have been linked away, maybe Raphinha is the one that Barca should be exploring, but we know that he wants to stay at the club. But here's the thing, guys, and this is the one thing that I would say ahead of this new season now, and providing we bring in a top quality right back, because I want to see Raphinha in this Xavi system with a proper, pure right back behind him. Because I want to see there a player, for instance, like Cancelo, who could go beyond Raphinha, who could actually make their overlapping runs beyond him, and that then could really open up the options for Raphinha. Because I think right now he is suffering at times from having nothing really behind him. Nobody's really giving him many options. They're not providing him any space. And in tight areas, honestly, it's not where he's at his best. He's not going to make something happen out of nothing. He's not going to go past one player and then another. That's not really his strength. So I think there, when we see somebody behind him who can stretch defences, who can open up space for him, maybe then he can be allowed to do his best work, and we can see that quality in the final third that he must bring, and he must be precise in his passing and in his shooting to make up for those other deficiencies in his game. So that is something I really want to see there, a pure right back behind him, and hopefully that'll help to unlock the best version of Raphinha. However, from one Brazilian winger to another. And that's the interesting thing, isn't it? They may both be Brazilian there, Neymar and Raphinha, but they're very different players, very different types of wingers there in the way they go about their game. And I just wonder here today, guys, looking at Neymar, looking at the saga, we talked about it a lot, but Mbappe's decision today, the final decision really that he's made, he will not leave PSG. That has been made so clear today. Apparently the saga is over. He's going to join Real Madrid probably next summer now, of course, but he's going to see out his contract in Paris. Now, what that does, guys, is really hurts PSG from an FFP point of view. Not only this summer, but looking to next year. Losing Mbappe on a free is unquestionable, unthinkable. For them, that's why they were so keen to avoid this situation. And I just wonder now, does that make Neymar's departure this summer for FFP alone really important for them? Getting him off the wage bill, whatever way that they can, are they really forced and backed into a corner now? And could this all mean that what we're hearing in the media about Neymar's contract potentially being terminated, that actually he could leave PSG for free, no strings attached this summer, could it actually happen? Because if Neymar's contract, let's say, was terminated, there's still those two options there. Now, of course, he could go straight to Barca. We could sign him on maybe a longer deal than just the 1 year loan sort of that was rumoured, or he could then be snapped up still by that Saudi Arabian club and loaned back to Barca, which is the rumour that we continue to hear. However, there have been plenty of people today, we spoke earlier on today on MORETALKFCB about the fact that Luis Enrique doesn't count on Neymar. He doesn't want him in his team, and he does not see him there in the future of his PSG team. And a lot of people are saying, should we be concerned about that? If Luis Enrique doesn't want Neymar, should we be going after him? Is he the player that we need in our team? But what I would stress on that is, guys, Lucho doesn't want to base his project around Neymar. He doesn't want to be here, coming into a new club and actually forming and building everything around Neymar. He doesn't think he can do that with him. And what I would say is, we're not going to do that either. And that's a really important point to make right now, because like I said before on Neymar, if he was to come back, it has to be as a bonus. It has to be as this wild card option, somebody there that you have the chance to get and you bring them in as a luxury kind of signing. Because look, we're not going to tear everything apart, everything we've been working on here, just to suit Neymar. Suddenly now, if he comes back to the club, not everything is going to be based around him. He is going to be one of 11 players. He is going to have to buy in to Xavi's philosophy, to his plan, his idea. He's going to have to work hard. He's going to have to really get his head down and work. And I think he knows that. He knows that if he does come back, if Xavi was to allow that to happen, he is going to have to follow every single command that Xavi gives him. And that's the only way that it can happen, as that luxury bonus player. And we also would not base everything, would not base our whole game around just what Neymar wants to do. And so that there, guys, is some important discussion that I did want to have with you today. I think there's some good topics in there that we can get stuck into, Lewandowski's long-term future, Raphinha's style of play, the game that he has, if we can unlock him here at Barca, and of course there, the ever-emerging debate on Neymar Jr. and his potential return to the club. Please do let me know all of your thoughts on all the topics that we have discussed in today's video. I hope that you have enjoyed it. I hope you still enjoy this sort of style of video. Thank you indeed for all of your great support and for all of your comments. I appreciate that. I will catch you soon, though, with lots more on the way, of course. Not long now until that brand new season. But until next time, guys, as always, Visca, El Barça.